Hi everyone, good evening. In today's video we have some really quite frankly interesting questions as opposed to what a gag order even is and why it is even why it is even imposed on even and including even if it is illegal or not. So let's get into it. So the first question on today's docket is what is a gag order and can gag orders even apply to the US? To anyone in the US? The answer to that is the answer to that is yes, gag orders can apply to anyone in the United States, including attorneys, witnesses, defendants, plaintiffs, and including, and sometimes the media, or for example, in this case, the defendant, Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has made some ridiculous comments about Judge Michon and his family. However, gag orders are subject to strict scrutiny under the First Amendment, which protects free speech. What does that mean? It means that a judge must have a compelling reason to issue a gag order, and it must be restrictive, at least in a restrictive way that in a way to meet that interest, in the interest that Donald Trump specifically attacked his daughter, including him and his family. The next paragraph states that gag orders are often issued to protect the integrity of the trial process and ensure a fair trial, which he had a fair trial. So Donald Trump had no right, he whatsoever had no right to do what he did, whatsoever. For example, a judge might issue a gag order to prevent prejudiced information from being disseminated to the public, or prevent the jury in a way from prevent their poll from being influenced by the public or news coverage. Gag orders are more common, but they're more common in high-profile cases, such as when a defendant is well-known or famous. In this case, Donald Trump is well-known, and he is unfortunately famous. Gag orders, however, are controversial because they limit the free speech, or the freedom of free speech. The public and defendants have a First Amendment right to comment, which he never once had his right revoked. To the judicial system, which holds courts accountable. The process gagging is almost always considered unconstitutional. Of course it is. Another question that people may have are, what are the gag orders subject to? Or who are gag orders subject to? I have that written down right here. Well, gag orders are subjected to participants of the trial, like witnesses, lawyers, defendants, or gag orders might be subjected to the media as well. Another question that some people may have is, well, what about the media? And here is where that question comes into play. While other parties who are not involved directly in the case can sometimes have and get a gag order issued against them, in this case the media or others. It really depends. As it stated in the video, at the beginning of the video today, it just really depends. Another question that some people may have is, what about the jurors? And it is specifically docked down here, right here in the highlighted section. Jurors as well can be ordered to not speak about the deliberations process of the jury, but likely they cannot order jurors to not to discuss the case or the verdict, especially to family members. Definitely not to family members. That is one of the major legal hurdles in the justice system, that they cannot whatsoever speak about it to to family members. Okay, so next question we have is, why are gag orders imposed? What are they? And here in this highlighted section as well states obviously what they are and why they are imposed. Court gag orders are strictly repeat, they are strictly imposed on the media, jurors, lawyers, witnesses, plaintiffs, including the defendants, on information as to what can be publicly released or what those in the case are and can say, which will or might include. This is what they might include. Please pay attention very carefully as I am reading this, or as I am reading these. They might include to protect the legitimacy of the court system, minimize harm from pretrial publicity, or to ensure litigants receive fair judicial proceedings. Another question that we have on the agenda tonight is, why are they imposed and why are they controversial? That, folks, can be answered instantaneously right away. Right here in the highlighted section, it says, the reason as to why they are imposed and controversial is because so that they can limit the freedom of free speech, to which it is to protect the First Amendment rights, or the First Amendment. Presumption is that heavily is applied. It is heavily applied by the courts against validity of gag orders constitutionally. Can the court generally issue them? Yes. That's the question, is they can, or the answer to the question is that they can issue them only if they meet strict scrutiny, which means that a judge, of course it says, needs a reason that's compelling to issue the gag order. In which case, friends, I'm sorry to say this, but in which case, the reason that Donald Trump was got the gag order imposed and issued was because he was making the comments about Judge Merchan's daughter and his family, and attacking court staff and witnesses as well, so that right there is a compelling reasoning for Judge Merchan to do what he did. Last but not least, here is the last but not least final question for today's video. What are the standards for imposing a gag order? Again, friends, right here in the highlighted section, it says it depends on who is being gagged. For example, the trial counsel. The standards for a trial counsel is substantial likeliness of causing material prejudice to the proceedings. Another reason as to what the four standards of imposing a gag order are or might be to in this case, the criminal defendant in this case, which is Donald Trump. And right here it says significant and imminent threat to the administration of justice is the standard, which he imposes. I'm sorry to say this, but he imposes an imminent threat to the justice. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, friends, this is gonna conclude it for today's video. I do hope that you guys enjoyed, and let me know your guys' feedback down below in the comment section on what your guys' feedback is. And if you guys did enjoy this, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing for more daily content. And please feel free to subscribe. It'll help me out a whole lot. As well as maybe if you guys would like to check out my recent content that I've uploaded yesterday, as well as in the past, that'll help me out a whole lot if you guys do go check those out and leave your feedback. Thanks guys, and have a great day. Talk to you soon.